Alright, so let me begin here. So what I'll do here in today's class is that since we have covered a number of topics from biodiversity perspective, and I've given you the concept, theory, and also approach, how to approach those topics there. We will be going to a particular topic which I would have covered in NCERT batch, but it requires another thing is that you require again to go back to that topic because direct or indirect questions are asked on that, particularly from the environmental issues and problems, like whether ozone layer hole problem, or you can say global warming, climate change, or any pollution aspect that comes into that. So what I'll do here, that particular topic, I will discuss point wise on the notepad, and then I will connect with certain areas which are really very important from the exam point of view. So what I'm going to right now get into, so there is a topic called Biogeochemical Cycle, or what we call as a nutrient cycle. Now UPSC question, if you look at previous year question paper, you will find question papers, the questions are either direct or it may be linked with environmental problems. Let's say nitrogen, too much of nitrogen in the environment, what impact will be there? Or let's say acid rain, or for example acidification of ocean, any such areas which are linked with any of the part of the cycle there. So I'll be now going through them one by one and connect with the important dimensions. Now, what is biogeochemical cycle? Where important nutrient cycle through ecosystem, right? Land, air, water, and living organisms as organic matter, and it gets cycled from living to non-living, non-living to living. So that's where the nutrient cycle play a very major role. And I've also said it is one of the functions of ecosystem, that cycling of nutrients, energy flow, this all I mentioned in the very beginning of the classes there. So if you take here the nutrient cycle through, one is atmospheric phase, atmosphere, second comes here land mass, continent, lithosphere, then water body is hydrosphere, and then what comes here, the final one, that is a biological sphere, or where the living organisms are part, plants, animals, even decomposers like bacteria, fungi, they become the part of it, right? So we will take one cycle, go into the theory part, and then connect with the applied area with some dimensions with current affairs. We will connect with that, so that if question comes in the exam, you are in a position to solve such questions there, right? इसलिए इसको बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल बोलते हैं, बायोलॉजिकल, जोग्राफिकल, एनी केमिकल, एनी इनऑर्गेनिक केमिकल लाइक carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, which cycle through the ecosystem. If you look at the question papers, there already been asked a question on phosphorus cycle, right? Question on water cycle, question on carbon cycle, they all have been asked. So I'll start one by one. Let me just go through it and I'll share the screen so that all of you who are writing the notes can keep on writing the notes, right? So you'll be able to see me also there at the same time. You'll also be able to see all the points on the screen here. So that's what I've done there. So let us do one thing here. First, let us discuss about very important aspect called nitrogen cycle. I'll connect with current affair also. There certain topics are there which are really very important from current perspective. I'll be dealing with that. Now, first of all, nitrogen cycle, if you look at, you all know that 78% of atmospheric gaseous composition is nitrogen. nitrogen gas form the 78% of the total composition of all gases in the atmosphere. 78% is made of nitrogen. 2 atoms of nitrogen which form N2 gas, right? Now here, if we take this one, nitrogen and the cycle part of it, it has a 5 main processes, right? It's a very important cycle because living organism require nitrogen, right? So 5 processes are part of it. First, let me write those names of the processes. First is called nitrogen fixation. Second one is called nitrification. So first I am writing the all theory part of it. We'll see the current and problem part of it. Then third you will find ammonification. Next process which comes here is ammonification. Fourth one which will come across here, the process called as a assimilation, biological assimilation, and the fifth one, denitrification. Nitrogen fixation, nitrification, ammonification, then assimilation, denitrification. These are the 5 processes which you have to keep at the back of the mind, right? If you get a direct question, and why I have started with nitrogen cycle, because so far, if you look at direct question on nitrogen cycle, has not been asked in the exam. Exam में direct question इस पे नहीं पूछा गया है. So this could be one of the area, I can say gray area, where question can be asked in the exam. We'll see this, all these processes I'm just going to go into that. Here in this cycle, what you find, microorganisms play a very important role. You'll find microorganisms like bacteria, different types of bacteria. They really play a very, very important role, significant role in terms of any of such processes like nitrification, denitrification, ammonification, nitrogen fixation. They play a very, very crucial role. So we'll see those examples also there. So these are the 5 things which I'll go through it one by one, and please keep on writing whatever I'm discussing right now. So please just keep on writing all these points. So let us now first focus on nitrogen fixation. Point number 3, nitrogen fixation. Right? What is nitrogen fixation? Where atmospheric nitrogen gas convert into nitrate. Right? That is what called as a nitrogen fixation. So here I can write in bracket here, conversion of atmospheric nitrogen gas into nitrate. Now this can take place with the help of, right here, it can take place with the help of 3 important processes. One is a biological fixation. Now here the role of microorganisms, they play a very important role. So here, like for example, one will be free living bacteria. Those bacteria which are found in soil. Let me give you an example here. Suppose one type of bacteria is called Azotobacter. Then Azospirillum. These are the bacteria which is found in the soil. They are free living. They are not symbiotic. They are free living. They can convert nitrogen into nitrate in the soil. Directly they have a capacity where they can convert it into. Second, what we find, you all know symbiotic bacteria. Those bacteria which is not in free form, but they they mutualistically live with other organisms. For example, you know one name, rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria is a bacteria which you all know live inside the root nodules of leguminous plants. लेग्यूम प्लांट्स के जड़ों में रूट नोड्यूल्स होते हैं, वहाँ पर ये बैक्टीरिया रहता है और ये बैक्टीरिया नाइट्रोजन प्रोवाइड करता है प्लांट को और प्लांट से उनको फूड मिलता है. सिम्बायोटिक रिलेशन, राइट, इज अ म्यूचुअलिस्टिक बेनिफिशियल relation between the rhizobium bacteria and the leguminous plant. That part, but at the same time, there is also another class of bacteria which we call as blue-green algae or cyanobacteria. So even not only this one, like here nostoc, anabena, ANABENA. Now nostoc anabena, NOSTOC, nostoc anabena, they are called cyanobacteria, or we call as a blue-green algae, and they are also symbiotic. They are found in the roots of the plant. Symbiotic cyanobacteria. There is another type of class of bacteria which can also fix nitrogen. Now third microorganism which comes here, that is fungi. Fungi. Not all fungi. As a living organism, not all fungi. One type of fungi which is capable of fixing nitrogen is called mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza. Is a symbiotic fungus living with the roots of the plant, and they are capable of fixing nitrogen, provide nitrogen to the plant. So all, see, when I say biological, either with free living bacteria or symbiotic bacteria or cyanobacteria or symbiotic fungi, they can directly convert atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate. They have got that kind of properties. So that is the one way nitrogen fixation work. Second way nitrogen fixation which work, that is a direct in the atmosphere, atmospheric fixation. Second what you come across, atmospheric, in the atmosphere. Now this happens not all the time. Atmospheric fixation doesn't take place all the time. It happens during a certain event called lightning. So this is a during lightning. During lightning and thunderstorm. So what happens when there is a lightning? The energy, the high energy, that breaks a nitrogen molecule, N2 molecule into atom, and then it reacts with oxygen and there is a deposit of nitrate. लाइटनिंग जब होता है, जब बिजली कड़कता है, थंडर स्टॉर्म है, उस समय एटमॉस्फेयर में जो एनर्जी जो लाइटनिंग की वजह से होता है, तो वो नाइट्रोजन को ऑक्सीजन रिएक्ट करके नाइट्रेट का और फिर वो डिपोजिशन होता है. ये नेचुरली हैपन्स विद डूइंग दैट टाइम देयर. इसको हम लोग कहते हैं एटमॉस्फेरिक फिक्सेशन. एंड थर्ड जो होता है, थर्ड वन you may be aware of also there, I am putting in a flowchart form, industrial processes, industrial fixation. Industries, industrial fixation. So in industries, what happens here is that synthesis of or manufacturing of ammonia, synthesis of ammonia by human being called as a Haber's process. There is a process called Haber's process. in chemistry, it's called Haber's process. What we do in industry, we take nitrogen gas, we take hydrogen gas, we use catalysts to react them to form ammonia gas, and then from ammonia we prepare ammonium phosphate fertilizer. We make fertilizers, ammonium sulfate, ammonium phosphate, particularly ammonium phosphate. So this ammonia which is prepared, and from here we use to make ammonium fertilizer. This fertilizers, ammonium phosphate, we then use in agriculture land. Farmers use ammonium phosphate in agriculture land, and that add ammonia to the soil. Nitrogen in the form of ammonia goes to the soil. So first thing, from theoretical point of view, you have to know that this is the way the nitrogen from atmosphere come to the soil. It becomes the part of lithosphere, landmass, soil there, right? As I said, I'll first discuss the theory part, then I'll go to the environmental problems, and then I'll connect with current affairs. This way you will be able to understand each of this cycle in a very dynamic manner, right? So three things you have to keep at the back of the mind: biological, atmospheric, industrial. And I'm using the flowchart key point so that whenever you revise your class notes, you are able to revise faster. You are able to get the static part, theory part easily. ठीक है? और जो भी मैं नाइट्रोजन साइकिल में आज बता रहा हूँ ये सफिशिएंट है, एक बार आपने समझ लिया तो फिर आपको दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने में, राइट? And again my request, please copy it. You want me to stop for some time, I'll stop, and जहाँ पर ज़रूरत पड़ेगा I have to dictate, I'll dictate also there, but I want that all of you are on the same page and is able to write it down. Any doubt you have, you can ask me.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
can you explain the atmospheric process again?
Yeah, atmospheric process, what happen when there is a thunderstorm and lightning in the upper atmosphere, it generates a lot of energy which break nitrogen into atom, and oxygen split nitrogen. So nitrogen react with oxygen to form NO2, and with the rainwater or all this that get deposited to the soil, it comes down to the earth. It comes down to the earth. Like for example, whenever, let's say you have a doubt there, you'll see here, I'm just taking this one. I'm just typing here atmospheric fixation of nitrogen, and I'm giving a space lightning. When you do the search here, see here given here, lightning can also fix nitrogen. High temperature, energy temperature there. High temperature of a lightning bolt can break the bonds of atmospheric nitrogen molecule. What is nitrogen made of? Two atoms of nitrogen. So they get broken. Then what is said here? Free nitrogen atoms in their air bond with oxygen. In the air, atmosphere, oxygen gas is also there. React with oxygen to create nitrogen oxides. Nitrogen oxide, NO, NO2, nitrogen dioxide, all these are there, which dissolve in the moisture. It dissolve with the moisture, rainwater, and come as an acid deposition. Moisture to form nitrate that are carried to earth's surface by rainfall. Precipitation means rainfall. By rains, it get deposited to the land surface, on the earth surface. तो ये जो रिएक्शन है, पहले क्या है, एटमॉस्फेयर में रिएक्शन होना चाहिए, है ना? अब वो एटमॉस्फेयर रिएक्शन कैसे होगा? जब नाइट्रोजन रिएक्ट करेगा ऑक्सीजन के साथ, उसके लिए क्या चाहिए? एनर्जी चाहिए. वो एनर्जी कहाँ से आएगा? लाइटनिंग से आएगा. एक बार नाइट्रोजन ऑक्साइड बन गया, फिर वो वाटर के साथ डिसॉल्व करके अर्थ पे आएगा, लैंड पे आएगा। इसको बोलते हैं एटमॉस्फेरिक फिक्सेशन। क्लियर?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
या मोस्ट वेलकम। सो दिस इज वेयर यू कम अक्रॉस देयर। तो ये ऐसे चीज़ों को एक बार उसको ध्यान में रखना है, राइट? वेरी क्लियरली दैट। सो मतलब इफ आई हैव टू टेल यू विद रिएक्शन, सी this is what will happen there. If you take reaction here, so when the lightning comes, right, let's say this is the lightning, so it generates a high energy, high temperature there. So what will happen here? This N2 will break down into nitrogen atom, right? That what the reaction bring atom there, and this nitrogen will react with oxygen. This is going to react with oxygen. I'm just to form NO2, and now this NO2 will dissolve with rainwater H2O, nitric acid, acid rain. Now as a acid rain will come to the earth surface. See, chemistry is not that you have to memorize, but I'm just giving you an idea here. This is what chemical reactions take place in the atmosphere, and then with rainwater it comes down to the soil, right? Again, you don't have to say, I know that those who are non-science background, you don't have to mug up the chemical reaction. UPSC is not going to ask you any kind of chemical reactions. Just to make you understand, oxides of nitrogen dissolve with rainwater as an acid deposition, it come to the soil, राइट? ये रिएक्शन उतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, जस्ट टू समझने के लिए इसको ध्यान में रखना है, उसको याद नहीं करना है, यू डोंट हैव टू मेमोराइज, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, व्हाट आई हैव गिवन दिस फ्लो चार्ट, दिस यू हैव टू कीप एट द बैक ऑफ द माइंड. Haber's process is again chemical reaction, N2 plus H2 NH3, ammonia is NH3. Haber's process, if you look at Haber's process like this, ये catalytic process में होता है, that is what they do in the industry. They take nitrogen gas, they react with hydrogen gas, with catalyst is form NH3. NH3 is ammonia. This is ammonia gas, and then this ammonia, right, with phosphorus, there is a PO3, PO4, right? Let's say H3, PO4, this one, right? So what will happen there? This convert into, when you react, so it becomes into part of, or I'll simply write, say it will react with phosphorus to form this compound H4 PO4, that comes into that ammonium phosphate, and this we use as a fertilizer. This is a chemical fertilizer, and that add ammonium ion to the soil, NH4 ion plus ion to the soil there. So that is where, just at the back of the mind, you have to know that. But again, as I said, chemical reactions you don't have to memorize. This is just only to make you aware. I am just writing the reaction there. So first very important step in nitrogen cycle is the nitrogen fixation, right? Now second is this one, this ammonia. That ammonia will become part of the soil. Now ammonia get converted into nitrate by a process called nitrification, right? So I hope you have written this flow chart. This you have copied it. I'll just slightly take up upward so that the next you are able to see this one. Right? Shall I move on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us now go to the next one here. Now what happens here is that this nitrification. This nitrification process. Now what is nitrification process? This ammonium fertilizer we use in the soil. So in soil it breaks down to form ammonium ion. Positive ion. Now bacteria will convert into nitrite. And then finally it gets oxidized to nitrate, NO3. This is called as nitrification. What is nitrification? I'll write in bracket here. Conversion of ammonia to nitrate in soil. Now this is done by bacteria. I'll give you the name of the bacteria. The bacteria, let's say I'll also write here. This is done by bacteria. For example, I'm giving one name, Nitrobacter. Is a soil bacteria. Nitropacter, Nitrobacter. This bacteria will convert into ammonium ion into nitrate. Nitrobacter. Again, I said chemical reaction is not very important, but you have to remember that in the soil, bacteria are converting into such nitrate, which will be taken by the plants, absorbed by the plants. Roots of the plant will absorb this nitrate, and that will biologically convert into amino acid, proteins, organic molecules, organic matter. Right? So this is a static part, this is a theory part, which I'm just trying to make you aware. In geography optional, one read nitrate cycle, nitrite cycle. Then again it is further subdivided into number of cycles there. But this is the one part which you have to just keep at the back of the mind from GS point of view, general studies point of view. Is it clear here? So when we use fertilizer, ammonium ion to the soil, converted into nitrate by bacteria. This is called nitrification. Right? Shall I move on? Next one.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at it. I'll take all your doubts, don't worry. Now what happens here? Assimilation. So what is assimilation? This nitrate absorbed by roots of the plant so plants get nitrogen, right? Roots of the plants, they take the nitrogen here, right? Roots by the plants, and plants, what they do? Plants use nitrogen to make organic material, organic matter, such as, if we take example, such as amino acid. Proteins are made of amino acids. it is a nitrogen there. Amino acid which become the part of protein. Our hair, nails, right? Our body parts are made of proteins. Then not only proteins, the nitrogen is also used in the nitrogenous bases, that is called as a DNA and RNA is made of nitrogenous bases. What do you know? Deoxyribonucleic acid, it contains nitrogen. Adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, these are the building block of DNA, RNA. So there, that is again contain nitrogen atom. Nitrogen become part of it. So nucleic acid, you can say nucleic acid. There the nitrogen get converted, organic materials. Then what will happen here? Nitrogen in terms of these organic material, right, these organic materials flow to animals by food chains. As the plant will be eaten by herbivores, herbivores are eaten by carnivores. Again the same plant organic matter become the part of animals biomass, animals organic matter. That happens through food chain, food web. Right? So now this is a part of living organism, plants and animals, where nitrogen has become part of it. This is what called assimilation. Right? Now what will happen when plants die, animals die, death and decomposition. So again this protein which is made of amino acid contain nitrogen, nucleic acid, DNA, RNA contain nitrogenous bases, adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, uracil that contain nitrogen. They will be broken down by bacteria and again the nitrogen will get back to the soil. That's the next stage. That becomes the next stage. Right? So I'll again write that on the board, but I've said what is assimilation. So first nitrogen fixation, second nitrification, third assimilation. If right now if you remember it, then you don't have to worry in the exam hall. If any direct question comes in the exam, you are able to solve the question. Right? You are able to solve such question there. Right? And please write it down. If anything is there which I need to add, then I'll definitely add there, but you need to keep on writing there. Is it clear to everyone this one? Are you able to understand? Devojit, are you able to understand this? Okay, good, very good. Dipti?
Yes, sir.
Good, very good. So, please keep on writing also there. I'll just take the, क्योंकि मुझे अभी ना एक बहुत important current aspect को समझाना है, बहुत important topic है for coming exam. I'll explain that, but I have to first give you the background of the nitrogen cycle. That's what I'm discussing, the theory part of it, right? So now let's look at next one, ammonification. Ammonification. Now what is ammonification? After death of plants and animals, so soil bacteria, right, break down, that decompose. Organic matter containing nitrogen. So when the plants and animals die in the soil or in the water, even you can take water also, they are broken down. Like here, what will happen here? Protein which is made of amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein there. So this with the bacteria will convert into, protein is broken down into amino acids which contain ammonia, amine, and this release ammonia. Ammonia is released to the soil. Now again this all happens with bacteria. That soil bacteria, they break down and convert into this ammonia. Now this ammonia is in where? Soil. Soil ammonia. Now what happened? This soil ammonia is further converted into nitrate by the process of nitrification. Now what happened? As the soil get ammonia, again the soil bacteria will convert ammonia into nitrate by the process of nitrification. So that means again this ammonia gets cycled. Again this ammonia doesn't remain as ammonia, and again it becomes into nitrate, and again it will be absorbed by roots of the plant, and again become the organic matter. So cycle keeps on going on. Cycle will keep on going on there. So that means this what comes. So आप ऐसा समझो कि जब हम फर्टिलाइजर यूज करते हैं अमोनिया, तो नाइट्रेट बनता है नाइट्रिफिकेशन में, प्लांट उसको नाइट्रोजन लेता है, ऑर्गेनिक मैटर बनाया, प्रोटीन वगैरह बनाया, अब प्लांट से एनिमल में गया, अब प्लांट एनिमल के मरने के बाद फिर बैक्टीरिया जो सॉइल में है उसको ब्रेक डाउन करके फिर अमोनिया कन्वर्ट कर रहा है. फिर ये अमोनिया क्या होगा? फिर जो नाइट्रीफाइंग बैक्टीरिया है जो नाइट्रिफिकेशन करता है, फिर ये अमोनिया को साइकिल कर देगा नाइट्रेट में, फिर नाइट्रेट अब्जॉर्ब होगा. तो एक तरह से लगातार कंटिन्यूअस साइकिल चलता रहेगा, लगातार कंटिन्यूअस द साइकिल कीप्स ऑन गोइंग. दैट साइकिल विल कीप ऑन रिपीटिंग देयर कंटिन्यूअसली, राइट. तो एमोनिफिकेशन सिंपली समझना है कि जब ऑर्गेनिक मैटर प्रोटीन से जाके वो अमोनिया रिलीज हो रहा है सॉइल में, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अमोनिफिकेशन. फ्रॉम देयर द ammonification, that means from organic matter containing nitrogen, and then in the soil with the help of decomposing bacteria it gives rise to the ammonium ion. This is called as a ammonification. And when the same ammonia get converted into nitrate, we call it as a nitrification. We call it as a nitrification, right? Now the last theory part, denitrification. Then we'll see the problem areas. Denitrification. What is denitrification? Where in the soil nitrate, this ammonia becomes the nitrate. Where in the soil the nitrate which is not assimilated, which is not been absorbed by plants, that nitrate get broken down by bacteria into free nitrogen gas, and it goes to the atmosphere. That nitrogen gas released to the atmosphere. That is called denitrification, right? That is called as a denitrification. So what is denitrification? Denitrification is this one. The last stage which happens in nitrogen cycle is this one. Soil nitrate, this ion NO3 minus, right, is converted by, now there is special type of bacteria there. converted by denitrifying bacteria. Into free nitrogen gas. So now this nitrate, right, that is becoming a nitrogen gas, right, that is released to the atmosphere. It goes to the air. That means here, what is happening here? You have an NO3 that is in soil, and what bacteria is doing? Bacteria is making into this one. It's breaking the nitrate into nitrogen gas. This is what called nitrogen denitrification. And what will happen with this nitrogen gas? Again, this nitrogen gas will get into nitrogen fixation. Again, the fixation will be there. Nitrogen fixation will again take place. Again, nitrogen gas will be entering the nitrogen cycle. It will again become the part of nitrogen cycle. Right? Again, that will become the part of the entire cycle there. Any doubt? Then I'll come to the inverted problem.
So,
Yes.
what are the names of the denitrifying bacteria? sir?
Simply they are called denitrificants. Denitrificants. One name is also Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas. I'll tell you that. Pseudomonas. If you take this one, Pseudomonas. This is a very important bacteria naturally found in the soil. Pseudomonas. This is what you can see the photograph here. See here. Pseudomonas is a gram negative. They stain, they doesn't get stained. Staining doesn't take place. Aerobic bacilli. Bacilli means rod shaped. Bacillus means rod shaped. Measuring this much micrometer. Single is given here. That is where now this is talking about infection here. But I'll write here Pseudomonas nitrogen cycle. See, one is the disease which is caused because of bacteria. Now see here. Pseudomonas, that is the strain that is known as fixes nitrogen under microaerobic condition, free living condition. Now see which phase of nitrogen cycle. Can you see here denitrification? Look at here, this one. Denitrification. See what is again this process. Special bacteria called Pseudomonas paracoccus. Right? They generally convert into nitrate into nitrogen gas. Sometimes in the soil there will be absence of oxygen, anaerobic condition. So this bacteria will break down the nitrate and remove the oxygen. So the nitrogen gas that get formed and then released to the atmosphere. Right? These are denitrifying bacteria. Again, you can see here, if I just given you this example, Pseudomonas, Pseudomonas. Now look at here this one. Again, does Pseudomonas help in denitrification? You'll find here same. So name is also given here. Metabolically here can perform complete denitrification under anaerobic conditions and in the presence of nitrate. But again remember, there may be other bacteria also. There may be other bacteria which mean the presence of air or oxygen, can also convert or break down nitrate into free nitrogen gas. See, Pseudomonas work in anaerobic condition, absence of air or oxygen. But there are other bacteria in presence of air or oxygen can also break down and convert nitrate into free nitrogen gas. Right? So this is a biological part. This is what we find as a biological part comes into that. Right? So just remember all this one, the stages which come there. Right? Now what is the most important part from the exam point of view, where you have to connect nitrogen cycle with the environmental problems, issues that are now discussed in the classroom. That you will be able to, yes.
So Nitrobacter, Nitrosomonas, and Nitrococcus all are same in function, sir?
No, they come into class, different classes of bacteria. See, Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus and whatever comes there, they help in the part of the nitrogen fixation. But they are not the same bacteria. They are different type of bacteria, but they perform the same function there. Like for example, if we take Nitrosomonas, the nitrogen fixation, right? Suppose that here Nitrosomonas is another very important bacteria, Nitrosomonas. It also play a very important role in the nitrogen fixation there, right? And they are able to fix the nitrogen there, right? You will see here, Nitrobacter are called nitrifying bacteria. Nitrifying bacteria, see here, nitrification, that is given here. They play an important role in the nitrogen cycle. Nitrosomonas is a nitrifying bacterium that oxidizes ammonia to nitrite, chemoautotrope, chemosynthetic. So they see, although when you say Nitrosomonas or Nitrobacter, they are two different type of bacteria, Nitrobacter and Nitrosomonas, they are two different type of bacteria, but both perform the same function. Both of them perform same function. That is conversion into nitrite. They convert into nitrate. They are nitrifying bacteria. But when it says Pseudomonas, that is denitrifying bacteria. Right? That is where the difference comes. You see here, this is given. What is the role of Nitrobacter? This one. Oxidize nitrite into nitrate. Convert nitrite into nitrate. That is where the nitrate bacteria comes into that. Soil and water both. Again, you can see here, what is the main role of Nitrosomonas? Nitrification. Nitrosomonas convert ammonia into nitrite. And this nitrite into nitrate will be converted by Nitrobacter. Right? This is what you find in the,
Thank you, sir.
when you read there, you will come across this. Right? So you have to be aware of those names there, and so that you are able to do that. So now what will come here, in what are problems here. So if you look at here, let me discuss one by one. First thing is that the current affair, when you read, now what is problem here? The too much use of fertilizer or excess use of nitrogenous fertilizer in agriculture has led to the problem here. Worldwide, modern farming worldwide, all over the world, you know, in agriculture, fertilizer become very, very important. And when there is excessive use of fertilizer, so nitrogen is required, definitely nitrogen is required, but excessive use of nitrogen will pollute the environment. Here, one word comes here, this one, eutrophication. Eutrophication of water bodies. there is something runoff. Let's say we are using in agriculture land. In agriculture land, what we use as a fertilizer, right? Whatever the fertilizers are used here. Now, when the rainwater comes, when the rains is there, this gets flow to the water body, right? The nitrate, so nitrate here reaches to the water bodies, and there is this one phytoplankton, algae take up the nitrogen, and what will happen there? There is something, algae will multiply fast. There is something called algal bloom. What is algal bloom? Rapid growth, fast growth of algae. You have seen the green color algae. That causes a fast growth of algae, and this algae, right, that result into high level of BOD, biological oxygen demand. What is biological oxygen demand? The dissolved oxygen of the water bodies decline. And why so? Why it happens so? When this algae die, suppose algae will multiply, but algae will die also there. So when this algae die, bacteria will break down the algae, and the aerobic bacteria in the water will take oxygen, dissolved oxygen. In the process of breakdown of algal biomass, organic matter, aerobic bacteria in the water will absorb dissolved oxygen. So that concentration of dissolved oxygen will decrease in the water body, aquatic ecosystem. So that creates biological oxygen demand, BOD. That is pollution there. What is eutrophication? Enrichment. What is eutrophication here? Enrichment. Enrichment of aquatic ecosystem, let's say river, lake, stream, even marine, sea and ocean also there, with nutrients, particularly here nitrogen. When nutrients flow to the water bodies, whether it's a lake, pond, river, even sea and ocean, this is one of the cases there. And what will happen because of BOD? Other aquatic animals, they will die. Let's say fish will not get enough of oxygen and fish will die. So why it is happening? Because of too much use of fertilizer. See, fertilizer is required. Why? Because ammonia converted to nitrite to nitrate. That is required there. But what we are doing? Because of our unscientific farming method, we are polluting the soil, we are causing this kind of problem of water pollution, which is now a big concern worldwide, including India. So one of the negative impact which is linked with pollution is with the nitrogen cycle, this eutrophication, the process eutrophication, right? This is one first negative impact comes there, which I have discussed on the notepad. Now tell you which is second negative impact. Because of too much of nitrogen, what other negative impacts will be there? Anyone in the classroom can tell me. One is this, that too much of nitrogen pollutes the soil, water, cause eutrophication, can cause high level of BOD, death of aquatic animals. What could be other negative impacts of excessive nitrogen?
Can ocean acidification be one?
Yes, that will also be there. Again, the nitrogen which will flow to the marine ocean, you know that nitrate dissolved with water form acidification, will get acidic, nitric acid, nitrous acid, and that is again the big problem there. Marine life or other freshwater bodies, even including wetlands, they will cause a big problem there. You're right there. What health impact will be there? Health impact, humans. How the humans can suffer? If we take the humans here, so let's say nitrate in soil leach to groundwater. It goes to groundwater, and this groundwater and pollute groundwater. So now let's say water, this groundwater which we drink, groundwater containing nitrogen. Suppose we don't treat this kind of water, nitrogen, when consumed, when drunk, when you drink it, right, cause a problem called this one, blue baby syndrome. In young infants, like here in infants and children, nitrogen react with hemoglobin. Suppose the fertilizer, now it will percolate, go to the groundwater, and let's say that groundwater with a hand pump, bore well, hand pump, we take this water and we'll drink. So the nitrogen which is the water will react with the hemoglobin in the blood and cause this kind of a health impact. There's a health impact is there. The color becomes blue, bluish color, because hemoglobin has iron that gives red color. But now because of reaction with nitrogen, it converts into different compound with hemoglobin, which gives bluish color. Infant will die. Infant and children will die because of this problem there. So that's another health impact which is caused because of nitrogen. Groundwater polluted with nitrogen will have this kind of problem there, right? So this is what comes into another big problem there. Again, you have said that acidification of soil and water, because when nitrogen that react with water is going to form nitric acid, is acid here. So what will happen there? pH, there's something you know, pH of soil and water decreases. You know, pH scale 1 to 7 is acidic and 7 to 14 is called alkaline. Soil become more acidic and that will impact agriculture. We are using fertilizer to increase the yield, crop production. But too much of will cause decline in yield. Again here that cause loss of dissolved bacteria, beneficial bacteria. Same bacteria which help in nitrogen fixation will become inactive. The nitrogen cycle bacteria will get affected, cause loss of beneficial nitrogen cycle bacteria, thereby what will happen here? Thereby decreasing overall yield of the crops. Same bacteria which help in fixing nitrogen, now the same bacteria, because of acidic nature of the soil or the water, the same bacteria get affected. So the same ability of bacteria to fix nitrogen will decrease. Ultimately, in a long term, we are going to have impact on that. We are going to suffer with the impact. Then another issue is there. Along with the other animals or plants, they will get lost because of acidic condition. There is another big problem there. ये दूसरा problem है. और भी problem है. Now tell me, there are more problems are there. What more problem will be there? If there is too much of nitrogen in the environment. Think of that. और क्या क्या problem होगा?
It can lead to the degradation of monomers. For example, sir, the carbon its beauty is getting degraded. Maybe it has effects on the marble.
Yes,
So that can be an effect, sir.
yeah, that can be there. That really could be there. But I'll give you one more area. See, when we use too much of fertilizer, right, nitrogenous fertilizer in the soil, not only it pollute the soil, decrease the quality of the soil, but it also result into emission of greenhouse gas, oxides of nitrogen, greenhouse gases, which contribute to global warming and climate change. Now, you know, agriculture is the source of two greenhouse gases. One is the part of this nitrogen oxides which go to the atmosphere. Second, agriculture has become a big concern with methane gas. Methane is also greenhouse gas. And methane emission is because of paddy, rice cultivation, paddy cultivation. I have mentioned that wetlands, waterlogged area, water saturated area, wetlands and all, they emit methane gas, anaerobic condition. So even nitrogen cycle is linked with climate change, global warming, climate change. So what I'll do here, I'll now come to the next very important impact, that is emission of this gas N2O. It's called nitrous oxide. Right, nitrous oxide gas, which is a greenhouse gas. It traps the heat. It's a greenhouse gas. And that causes global warming. And changes in climatic condition, that is a climate change. Now there is another severe problem has come up. Too much use of fertilizer has another negative impact, that is release of nitrous oxide, and which is a greenhouse gas causing global warming. Now another event, another thing, when we burn biomass, burning of biomass, agriculture biomass, you all know that, for example, stubble, parali, stubble, that is residue, agriculture residue, and when you burn it, right, and this one, combustion, burning of fossil fuel, petrol, diesel, hydrocarbon, fossil fuels. In industries, right, power plants, thermal power plants, then vehicles, vehicular emission, that release what? That release oxides of nitrogen. To air, NOx, oxide nitrogen. When we burn coal in thermal power plant, NO2, nitrogen dioxide gas will released. Petrol and diesel in the car, buses, vehicles, again NO2, which is a air pollutant, polluting gas, right? So go related to the causing. So what it cause air pollution. One is this air pollution, which will have negative impact on the human health. Then again, acid rain. Acid rain is caused by both sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, which are other detrimental effect of the acid deposition as coming by the acid rain. Again, that problem will come to acid rain. What she has said that marble and all this one, or soil get acidic, water bodies, fishes will get affected, forest will get affected, acid deposition. But now we are talking from the air point of view, air pollution. Again, what is caused here? Another called here smog, photochemical smog. There is one type of smog called photochemical smog. It happens in summer. And one of the main cause of photochemical smog is NO2, nitrogen dioxide gas, which react with oxygen, forming ozone, ground level ozone, tropospheric ozone. And that ozone with NO2 plus other kind of compounds cause some kind of chemical called PAN, peroxyethyl nitrate, which suspend as an aerosol forming smog, photochemical smog. Again linked with nitrogen, NO2 gas. Then again, adverse health impact. Adverse health impact. Such as respiratory problem, asthma, bronchitis, lung disorders, such as respiratory illness. Again, this is all linked, somewhere indirectly linked with nitrogen. Nitrogen is a part of the problem. So same green revolution what India started in way back in 70s to increase the food grain production in the country has now caused number of problems in agriculture sector. You all know Dr. M.A. Swaminathan and the green revolution what India started. Now is causing such kind of problem there. These are now resulted into such kind of issues there. That's to say you have to connect a cycle. When you read any cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, water cycle, and I am going to do that. I'll also discuss water cycle, we'll see with the water problem. What are the water problem with water? Right? I am going to connect with the pollution topics. So another, see, nitrogen has caused such a kind of problems in present time. Right? This I have mentioned photochemical smog. I'll come to what is smog, I'll discuss right now. You will be able to understand that. Are you all able to follow this one? First thing is that you have to know nitrogen cycle. What is nitrogen cycle? Second, you have to connect with all this from exam point of view. Right? Any doubt you have? I'll come to something more important for the exam. But anything you want to ask? Are you all able to follow it? Are you all able to understand what I am writing on the board and discussing right now? How the nitrogen can be a problem? And this could be a question. Here, you could expect a question there. Shall I?
So,
Yes. Huh.
so how is N2O gas emitted?
That is because of
Point.
that is because of the breakdown in the soil because of bacteria. They can release there. See, nitrogen nitrate is already there in the soil, and now the conditions. So there will be a condition where the soil, their reaction breaks down to release the N2O gas, nitrous oxide gas. Right. See, already we are using fertilizer there. Fertilizer, ammonium or nitrogen, all these are in the soil. Now, because of the soil chemistry, soil reaction, and with the help of bacteria, this N2O gas can be released, nitrous oxide. If you see here, this one, we'll just, if you look at here, it's a big concern has happened because of agriculture here. If I write here release of nitrous oxide, the name of the gas is nitrous oxide from agriculture. Right, this is what I have given here. Sources of nitrous oxide, you will see here. What is being talked about? The processes that release nitrous oxide include microbial mediation nitrification. See here, microbial, that is bacteria, right? In aerobic soil where air is present, denitrification of nitrate in anaerobic soil where the breakdown of nitrate into free nitrogen gas, but that is done by Pseudomonas, anaerobic condition. Again, what you see here, nitrifier denitrification of ammonium ion, ammonia, and chemical reduction of nitrous oxide and nitrate. Right? And this is one gas where not much attention has been given, nitrous oxide. And it is one of the very important greenhouse gas causing climate change. All this happen because of the bacteria in the soil. That's what I said, nitrogen cycle. You have to appreciate nitrogen cycle first. Understand nitrogen cycle first. Then you will be able to connect with the different dimensions. That's what I'm trying to make you understand.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Most welcome. See here, if you see here, the greenhouse gas, no one is talking about. Nitrous oxide emission from agriculture has risen. See, this one, scroll.in. See what is said here. Nitrous oxide emission from agriculture has risen sharply over 30 years. Study. See, the increase is linked to fertilizer pricing policy and disproportionate use of nitrogen-based fertilizer. Sahana Ghosh, who has written this article, this is in 2019. This fertilizer, what is being used? You see here, farmer which is spraying fertilizer. The image is also given, photograph is also given. And you will see here what is given. Fertilizer pricing policies influencing farmers' preference towards specific chemical combination. Right, they specific chemical composition they are using that. See here now, see. The agriculture sector is the world's largest source of non-CO2 greenhouse gas emission, such as methane and nitrous oxide. This is what I told in the classroom. If you look at here this sentence, methane and nitrous oxide both contribute to the climate change. Agriculture sector, right? Methane because of anaerobic condition in soil. Even the bacteria, anaerobic bacteria, methanogenic bacteria in the soil under absence of air and oxygen can also release methane gas. Right? So it has all caused such kind of a problem there. So you will find this kind of a problem which is linked with it. Right? So these are all big concern. Now what I'll bring here, In the main exam, there was a question, last year mains exam, about Gothenburg Protocol. Now let me talk about international initiative to control this one. So if we take here international initiative, in this context, first comes this one, INI. It stands for this one, International Nitrogen Initiative. I'll come to India's initiative also there, but first I am writing about global. International Nitrogen Initiative. In India we have Indian Nitrogen Initiative, INI. Same way in India we have a INI, Indian Nitrogen Initiative. Now what is here? This is the scientific program. Here when you take this one, is a scientific program. It is a scientific program to study, monitor and publish reports on excess use of nitrogen and environmental issues there. Is a team of scientists worldwide. Team of scientists worldwide, they are doing this kind of study, and they're coming out with reports of what all negative impacts are there because of such kind of nitrogen in the environment, whether air or water or land or soil. From time to time they come out with reports. That's what called International Nitrogen Initiative. They're conducting research, conducting studies, and they come out with such reports. So let's say I have given you the name of the program. I'll take you to home page. See, your approach from current affairs should be like this. You read something in the current affairs, you come across some of the things, and then you take it forward to the part of a website. So there is a web page of INI. So I'll come to here. If I do the search here, International Initiative, Nitrogen Initiative, you will come to the home page. This is a home page. I have taken to the home page here. Look at this home page. It mentioned here, International Nitrogen Initiative, optimizing nitrogen use in food and energy production and minimizing the consequent harm to humans and the environment. Now if you see here, is given here, INI is seeking application, that is given in regions there. They have all the monitoring program all over the world. See here, the world's nitrogen cycle is out of balance. Can you see the statement? Very, very important statement. The global nitrogen cycle has been disturbed. What is given? Out of balance, causing major environmental, health and economic problems. This is what the INI is saying about. This is what you find here, right? And when you go to here, about INI, you will get this one, about the initiative. See what is given here. International Nitrogen Initiative, right, is given there. Is international program set up in 2003. Now look at here. Why it is important this year? 2003. So in 2023, it completes 20 years. 2 decades. Now you can see here, Scientific Committee on Problems of the Environment Scope from the International Geosphere Biosphere Program, IGBP. Now what is given here? What is the objective here? Optimize nitrogen's beneficial role in sustainable food production, minimize nitrogen negative effect on health, human health and energy production. So please write it down. Just write it down. Please write this one. Please write this one. This could be a question in the exam. Please copy this one. I am given time to copy this. आप इसको प्लीज कॉपी कर लीजिए. एक क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में
only these 2 points.
only this 2 point, no, entire thing, the entire paragraph. The International Nitrogen Initiative is an international program set up in 2003 under the sponsorship of the Scientific Committee on Problems of this. Up to this one, the program is currently sustained partner of Future Earth. I'll come to that. See, ये सारी चीज़ों को पढ़ना जरूरी है because sometimes such kind of international program and the website there, the question can be asked. So please copy this one. Then I'll come to something more. Just copy this one. आप इसको copy कीजिए. And once you are done, then please let me know. Then I'll go to the next one. Just copy this paragraph, complete paragraph, till Future Earth. Once you are done, please let me know. Then I can go to the next one. In the chat box, you can mention that. Once you have written, then you can mention that. Okay, Devjit has done. I would request all of you to copy down. Then only I can go to the next one. Okay, Mridul has done. Samika was also done. Sovik has done. Madhurima has done. Good. What about others? I'm looking at your chat box. You can tell me, right? I'm reading your chat box. Right. Good. Very good. Sriyasi has also done. Abhishek, Dipti, good. Today's interaction was very important. That's what I am able to understand each one of you. Okay, well, I'll do one thing here. We have done here. So I'm just removing what I have given here. Now look at here. See, when you go to such kind of website based on the topic, there will be certain organization or global initiatives. Like here given Future Earth. This one. Future Earth. Right. So Future Earth, now this is a program. UPSC can ask you direct question also. You may get direct question there. So I've just clicked on that Future Earth. Now this is getting open here. So Future Earth, which comes here, again you will be directed to the home page. Again you have to know whether it is a program of UN, United Nations, or is it a program of a partnership program where government and non-government together both are working to implement the program, or is it completely NGO, non-government organization based initiative, right? That you have to connect with that. So here, so when you go back here, you'll get to understand here. It's now futureearth.org that's getting open there. So let me again come to this one. See here, this is a scope and all has been there, but again this part of it. So suppose that now this is the home page, Future Earth. See what is given here. Future Earth is a global network, right? I am reading the sentence here. Global network of scientists. Are you getting the scientists, scientific program? Scientists, researchers, and what is given here? Innovators collaborating for a more sustainable planet. What does that mean? It is not NGO, non-government organization. It is not UN, United Nations kind of initiative. That is, it is not intergovernmental. Intergovernmental means by the governments. So it is not by governments, not intergovernmental, not by private NGO or non-government organization, but is a network of global scientists. All scientists or researchers who are working, even innovators who innovate, think of something new. Like for example, Future Earth, sustainable. We need clean technology, clean energy, smart agriculture, smart transport. That is what called innovation. Innovation comes into that. So here you find here, given here, see this. Now see, UN delegate reached agreement on High Seas Treaty to protect marine biodiversity. That was the news. IPCC report now saying that too dangerous. Recently Hindu paper has covered that. We are not able to see Future Earth at the UN Water Conference. 22nd March was celebrated as World Water Day at that time there. New IPCC report which says that we will not be able to reach up to 1.5. We will exceed that temperature the way the emissions are going on. All this you will see here. High Sea Treaty, then again protection of marine biodiversity. All this news you can find here, right? You can find here. And again, what I said here, as you go here, you will also find here about this program, right? Like here, our work. Who are we? Who we are. Look at here, see. Future Earth harnesses the experience and reach of thousands of scientists and innovators from across the globe, right? It's a network of that one. And you have a governing council, general assembly, and now you will find here, right? And they are covered worldwide. If you see here, worldwide coverage. Even India also there is there. See, in South Asia, in India, they have an office. That means the Indian scientists are also part of this Future Earth program, right? They are also part of the Future Earth program here. So you will find this PDF also given. one pager is there, in something called infographic, which gives the infographic. So you know, when you are looking into any kind of global program, you must also know that what is the role of India, where our country came into that kind of a context there. That you have to again connect with that, right? So this PDF will get open here. Now what I'll do here, meanwhile I mentioned this one, I'll now go to another important program called Gothenburg Protocol. You'll come across here Gothenburg Protocol. See, when we say protocol, protocol is basically legally binding agreement. It is called as a legally binding agreement. So Gothenburg Protocol is a legally binding agreement to control three areas: acidification, eutrophication and ground level ozone. Is a international legally binding, I'm writing on the board, legally binding. What is legally binding means? Governments have to abide by agreement. Those governments which have signed this agreement and ratified, that means accepted, they will be bound by the provision of the agreement. International legally binding agreement to control. One is acidification, and all these are linked with nitrogen. Acidification. Second is eutrophication, again linked with nitrogen. And third area is the ground level ozone. Tropospheric ozone, bad ozone, ground level ozone, which is formed because of nitrogen dioxide gas. Ground level ozone, bad ozone, tropospheric ozone. Now this protocol comes under a convention called as a LRTAP. Under convention, that is treaty on long range transboundary. Transboundary means from one country to another. Long range transboundary air pollution. There is a long range transboundary air pollution. It's called ARTAP. I repeat there. What is the name of the convention? Convention on Long Range Transboundary Air Pollution. Is a European convention by European countries. And within this, Gothenburg Protocol comes to take initiatives to control acidification, eutrophication and then ground level ozone. ये एक बाइंडिंग एग्रीमेंट है जो कि एक यूरोपियन कंट्रीज के कन्वेंशन या ट्रीटी है. इसका नाम है लॉन्ग रेंज ट्रांसबाउंड्री एयर पोल्यूशन. 1973 में इसको लाया गया था और 93 में ये प्रोटोकॉल लाया गया था. अगेन ये नाइट्रोजन को कंट्रोल करते हुए ये इनिशिएटिव है. करंट अफेयर्स इसको कहते हैं हाउ डू यू कनेक्ट nitrogen cycle theory part with current aspect. This is what I am discussing there, right? And you can go to this again, you can visit this one. See here, this is what PDF has opened up. ये future earth का PDF है. ये साइंटिस्ट है या जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उसका दिया हुआ है, right? And when you go to this one, Gothenburg Protocol, I mentioned that European convention है ये Gothenburg Protocol. Last year this was asked in mains exam. This one. ये intergovernmental है. You can see here. This is intergovernmental. 75 years of United Nations Economic Council का जो है. Now see a protocol to abate acidification, eutrophication and ground level ozone. 99 में इसको लाया गया था. 1999 Gothenburg Protocol to abate acidification, eutrophication, ground level ozone. ठीक है, that is given here. अब आप देखो यहाँ पर क्या बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट दिया हुआ है. ये चीज़ है if you can see here, the protocol sets national emission ceiling, that means target. Ceiling here means target. For 2010 up to 2020 to 4 pollutants. See 4 pollutants: sulfur dioxide, SO2, nitrogen oxide, NOx, volatile organic compounds, VOC, and ammonia. Can you see that these 4 pollutants that have been now targeted there, were covered under this particular part of here. 99, this Gothenburg Protocol, right? So connecting current affairs in this manner become very, very important, right? I have said once, International Nitrogen Initiative, second Gothenburg Protocol at the global level to control nitrogen, right? Now if I ask you Indian initiatives, what are Indian initiatives to control nitrogen emission? इंडिया में क्या क्या इनिशिएटिव लिया गया है नाइट्रोजन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए? ये तो ग्लोबल हो गया, इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे हो गया। इंडिया में क्या हम कर रहे हैं? नाइट्रोजन को, जो टू मच ऑफ नाइट्रोजन इन्वायरमेंट में हो रहा है, उसके लिए हम क्या कर रहे हैं? व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इन इंडिया? क्या क्या ऐसे प्रोग्राम्स हैं, इनिशिएटिव्स है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का? प्रताप, व्हाट आर द इनिशिएटिव्स देयर? गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने क्या क्या इनिशिएटिव लिया है नाइट्रोजन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए? दीप्ति, can you tell me any such initiatives in recent time to link with nitrogen, wherever the sources of nitrogen we are trying to control it? What are the government programs?
So I don't know the government programs exactly, but I do know there is an Indian nitrogen group that studies. I'm not sure if that is a government organization.
Okay, now let's look at here. If you look at Indian initiatives, then a lot of initiatives are there. First is this one. Recently news में था nano urea. You know nano urea is all making headlines. Current of nano urea, liquid form of urea. See, urea is the nitrogen, no? Urea is a fertilizer. We have to control. See, government of India gives subsidy to farmers for fertilizers. Now, what the problem is there? Farmer use too much of fertilizer. One of the factors is subsidy. So how would we control that soil pollution? And part of government has come out with this one, nano urea. This is IPCO. There is a government company called IPCO. Now what is this urea? It's a liquid form of urea, nano. Solution form. Paddy cultivation, agricultural land where rice cultivation. Now it is more, it basically optimize efficiency. If we use direct solid form of urea which we spray, the absorption in the soil, and compared to the liquid urea will be absorbed very fast. It has got higher efficiency. इसमें कम यूज होगा। नॉर्मल यूरिया जो हम छिड़काव करते हैं, ज़्यादा यूरिया होता है, इसमें कम होगा। सेव्स मनी एंड प्रोटेक्ट फ्रॉम एक्सेस यूज। ज़्यादा यूज नहीं करना होगा, थोड़ा यूज करना होगा। नैनो मतलब छोटा, small, 10⁻⁹ meters is a part of nanotechnology based kind of product. right? You will also save the money there. Then earlier government has started this program, neem coated urea. What is the neem coated urea? Again, this is a government program which brought neem coated urea, coating of urea with neem. It was asked in the prelims exam. If you go back to previous year questions, you will find there neem coated urea question in the prelims exam. When we coat with neem, what advantage will be there? That will be slow release. It will have a slow release of nitrogen to soil. That means the farmers which use the urea, but with the neem coated urea, the release of nitrogen going to the soil will be slowly. Another advantage is that black marketing. Black marketing can be also controlled by neem coated urea. Sometimes maybe farmer may sell in the open market, but that can identify these are the fertilizer which government has given under subsidy. But what is the main objective? Slow release of nitrogen to the soil. This is the main objective. Slow release of nitrogen to the soil. Again, you know, government is promoting what? Organic farming, use of biofertilizer. Instead of using chemical fertilizer, government want to convert into Paramparagat Krishi, traditional farming, organic farming. You know, Sikkim, it was asked in the mains exam. Sikkim is a very small state, but Sikkim is 100% organic. Sikkim state is 100% organic state. Their chemicals are not used. I'll give you another thing here. You know this one. So third one comes here. What I've said here, organic farming. Natural farming, right? No use of here chemical fertilizer, chemical pesticides. What is used here? Use of manure, green manure, like, you know, cow dung and all this, or what you call biofertilizer. Right? Then again what comes here? इसी context में एक और नाम आता है. I don't know how many people know that. ZBNF. What is ZBNF? What is ZBNF? There's a program called
Zero budget.
Yes, zero budget. You're right.
Sir, zero budget nitrogen farming ऐसा कुछ?
नहीं, natural farming. Natural. So PM Paramparagat Krishi Yojana, that is called as a organic farming. But ZBNF, that is a zero budget. It's called zero budget natural farming. The person who has come out with this method is called Palekar. Is a person who came out with this method there. And here what they use, that means all farm inputs, such as we have been using that cow dung and all this one, right? Cow dung and manure, you know, compost and all this, vermicompost, earthworm and all this one. So that is called zero budget. That means input cost is minimum. Bij Mitra, treatment of seeds. Jeev Mitra, treatment of plants. Right? Vapasa. See here, this is a ZBNF. If you look at, I'll just take you to this Amol Palekar, that is a name here. If you see ZBNF, if you do the search here, this one. Zero budget natural farming, PIB, is a method that believes in growing crops in tune with nature. The concept was promoted by agriculturist and Padma Shri awardee Subhash Palekar. He has got Padma Shri award. Subhash Palekar in the mid 1990s as an alternative to the green revolution method. Alternate to green revolution method. Driven by, that is a green revolution is based on hybrid seeds, chemical fertilizer, pesticides, irrigation, lot of water. Now alternate to that was ZBNF, zero budget natural farming. This is what you find here. What are the 4 pillars? These are Jivamurta. Jivamurta is the first important pillar of zero budget farming. Bij Mitra, right? Achhadan and Vapasa, right? You'll find here. If you go to the image, you'll see here this one. What is given here? Bij Mitra, seed treatment. Jiva Mitra, no fertilizer, no pesticide. Mulching, soil, straw, to keep the moisture of the soil, for that mulching, covering with the soil with the straw or part of leaves and all. Vapasa, soil moisture there. This is called ZBNF. हर साल एग्रीकल्चर से कम नहीं तो 5-6 क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं. 5 to 6 questions are being asked from agriculture. And I told you that my book on agriculture is already there in the market. That agriculture book, again I have given this permaculture, ZBNF, organic farming, I have given environmental aspect, smart agriculture. तो ये याद रखना ZBNF, ये इनिशिएटिव है ना, by and the government of India is promoting this ZBNF. So their nitrogen use, chemical fertilizers can be minimized, right? That is can be minimized. So when you say this one, ZBNF here, so here by whom? Padma Shri, this one, Padma Shri awardee, Mr. Subhash Palekar. In 1990s he started this method. And what are the four pillars here? One is here Bij Mitra, treatment of seeds. Then G Mitra, no use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides. Then Achhadan, mulching, it's called mulching, covering with leaves and straw, it's called Achhadan. Then Vapasa, that is in terms of retaining the moisture of the soil, covering and all this. These are the 4 important pillars of what we call as a ZBNF. Main points, key points. Are you able to understand my approach here? I have started with nitrogen cycle. First I gave you the theory of nitrogen cycle. I taught you the static part. That is the nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, ammonification, denitrification. Then I have gone into environmental problem because of too much of nitrogen. Then I took global initiatives. And then I came to the Indian initiatives, both for prelims exam and mains exam. You have to develop this kind of approach, right? Are you all able to understand here? Any doubt you have, any question? And I request you that whatever I am writing on the board, please keep on writing with that. Anything you want to ask? Then we can end up this session here.
सर जीव मित्रा के बाद क्या लिखा है?
जीव मित्रा के बाद मैंने लिखा है आच्छादन, ACHADAN, आच्छादन, mulching. आच्छादन means coverage, है ना? आच्छादन is a Sanskrit word, Hindi word, Sanskrit word, cover. So what the farmers do on the agricultural land, they cover with straw. You know, जो धान का खेत का straw वगैरह होता है ना, wheat and straw, so that the soil nutrient remains intact. And then that is called mulching. In geography called mulching coverage there, so that moisture and all this don't get lost. Vapasa is also coverage there, retaining the soil moisture. The moisture of the soil should not get evaporated. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you. So this way I will teach you all the cycle. Like in our next session we will study about carbon cycle. The carbon cycle are linked with the climate change and all those areas. Same way when I come to water cycle, I'll discuss about water problem, water pollution, then water scarcity, phosphorus cycle, sulfur cycle. I'll connect each cycle with the pollution and environmental problems. I hope you all are able to understand all this, and are you all comfortable with this, the way I am bringing the points one by one,
Yes, sir.
right? If you have copied, I'll just again review from the beginning, whatever I have taught there. We can summarize whatever we have learned. Have you all copied it? Okay, let me just go through it one by one. So I have given definition of biogeochemical cycle, then nitrogen cycle, 5 processes, nitrogen fixation, biological, atmospheric and industrial process, havoc process. Then I have nitrification, assimilation, ammonification, denitrification. Then we have seen in-water problems, eutrophication, then health impact, blue baby syndrome, then again acidification, then emission of nitrous oxide, global warming, greenhouse gas, stubble burning, biomass and all, air pollution and their impact, International Initiative INI, International Nitrogen Initiative, then Gothenburg Protocol, 1999 Protocol, and then India's initiative, nano urea, neem coated urea, organic farming, ZBNF. This is what we have covered, right? So I hope you all are able to understand. If you have any doubt, then please let me know, right?
सर जो हेवर्स डायग्राम फॉर्मूला देखिए एक्सप्लेन किया था सर, उसमें अमोनिया के बाद फर्टिलाइजर का जो प्रोसेस हो रहा है सर, उसमें क्या केमिकल फॉर्मूला लिखे वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
कौन सा
सर हेवर्स प्रोसेस में जो केमिकल फॉर्मूला आपने बताया,
नहीं, उसको याद नहीं करना है, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है।
नहीं सर, मतलब कैसे हो रहा है सर वो वाले सब सर, जैसे नीचे वाला जो
नहीं, वो कुछ नहीं है, ये चीज़ सिंपल है। वो केमिकल रिएक्शंस है जहाँ पर फैक्ट्री में, इंडस्ट्री में नाइट्रोजन गैस को, हाइड्रोजन गैस को यहाँ कैटलिस्ट यूज़ होता है, प्लेडियम या कुछ कैटलिस्ट होता है, वो NH3 हो जाता है। ये नाइट्रोजन गैस है, ये नाइट्रोजन गैस है यहाँ पर, वो इम्पॉर्टेंट नहीं है, ये कोई बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट नहीं है। ये नाइट्रोजन गैस को लेते हैं, वो हाइड्रोजन गैस को लेते हैं वहाँ पर, और उसको वहाँ पर एक तरह का कैटलिस्ट होता है यहाँ पर, पैलेडियम या जो भी है, उससे ये अमोनिया गैस बनता है। फिर वो अमोनिया गैस को रिएक्ट करते हैं फॉस्फोरस वगैरह, जो फॉस्फोरिक एसिड होता है उसके साथ गैस को रिएक्ट किया जाता है, और उससे जाकर अमोनियम फॉस्फेट फर्टिलाइजर बनता है। यही आप पूछना चाह रहे हो?
जी सर, थैंक यू।
नहीं, ये बस एट द बैक ऑफ द माइंड रखना है। देयर इज नथिंग, यूपीएससी इज नेवर गोइंग टू आस्क यू केमिकल रिएक्शन, बैलेंस इक्वेशन और रिएक्शन विल नॉट बी देयर। सिंपली फर्स्ट दे प्रिपेयर हैबर्स प्रोसेस. Haber's process is where the nitrogen gas, hydrogen gas with catalyst they'll make ammonia gas, and then they'll use phosphoric acid and all, and then ammonia gas they'll pass through and convert into ammonium phosphate, that is a fertilizer. So how they do in the chemical form, that is not very important. You have to know that this type of fixation we human beings at the industrial level we do to make fertilizers. So that is also nitrogen fixation. We are fixing nitrogen gas from the air. That is the thing you have to know.
Okay.
Right? If there is no doubt, then we can end up the session here. ठीक है? Any doubt is there or we'll end up there? No doubt? Okay. So we'll end up the class there. So thank you. We'll meet in the next session with a new topic. All right. So please take care of your health. We'll meet. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.